All right. Hey, well, welcome back. So you guys really want to get into it, huh? The situation in Ukraine. Yeah, things are getting pretty intense over there. We've got some sources, some excerpts from this new decree that Putin signed, and well, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely seeing some shifts happening.
Big time.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we're going to try and break down like what these changes actually mean.
yeah.
Like what's the bigger picture here? What are we even looking at?
It's almost like we're getting a peek behind the curtain, seeing what kind of pressure Russia's actually dealing with over there.
Totally. And you know what really gets me is this detail about the payments to soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Like Putin's reducing what wounded soldiers get, but the families of soldiers who were killed, they're still getting the same amount.
Yeah, that's a pretty stark contrast.
It's a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 million rubles,
Mhm.
which is what, like $30,000 for the wounded, and then 7.4 million, which is closer to $75,000 for the families of those who, didn't make it.
Right. Yeah, you have to wonder what the thinking is there.
Like, why? Why would you do that? It seems so counterintuitive, right? What are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a move that makes you think there's something deeper going on. I mean, at first glance, you might think, oh, maybe it's just about saving money, right? Budget cuts and all that. But it could be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Could it be a way to kind of discourage soldiers from reporting injuries? To try and project this image of strength? Or maybe it shows us what's really important to the Kremlin in this whole conflict.
It makes you wonder about what that does to the soldiers,
Yeah.
right? Like knowing that if you get hurt, you won't be supported the same way. That's got to have some impact on morale, right?
Oh, absolutely. And remember, we're talking about a war where Kiev's reporting over 700,000 Russian troop losses.
700,000. Wow, that's a lot. That's hard to wrap your head around.
It's a massive figure for sure. It's important to note that these numbers haven't been independently verified, but even just the possibility of losses on that scale really makes you think.
Yeah, it raises some serious questions.
Like, what's Russia trying to keep under wraps here? What's the real human cost of this conflict?
And you think about the families of those soldiers too, it's a really heavy situation all around. And then you've got Russia potentially turning to North Korea for military support. It really shows you how much strain they're under.
Right.
Which actually brings us to another big development. North Korean soldiers. They're entering the conflict now. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's been confirmed that there are 10,000 North Korean soldiers fighting alongside Russian forces in Donetsk.
Wow.
This is a major escalation. It's hard to say right now what it means for the future of the war, but it definitely brings up some really important questions.
Like what kind of questions?
Well, for instance, could this lead to even more international sanctions against North Korea?
Bro.
Or maybe it'll push other countries to give more military aid to Ukraine.
That's a good point. It's hard to know how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, exactly. This situation with North Korea, it's tricky.
Yeah, it's really puzzling. Like, what do you think they're hoping to gain from all this?
It's tough to say for sure. We can try to guess though, right? Maybe they're looking for economic benefits from Russia. Maybe they want military technology. It's also possible that they see this as a chance to really solidify their alliance with Russia and become a bigger player in the region.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
So many things to think about. We've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
The changes to how soldiers are compensated, the potential reasons behind those changes, and now the fact that North Korea is involved.
Right.
It really paints a complex picture of what's happening in Ukraine.
For sure.
So with all these new developments,
Hmm.
what do you all think is next for this conflict? What's the future hold? It's a story that's far from over. We're going to keep following it every step of the way. For now, keep digging, keep asking those questions, and try to come to your own conclusions.
Absolutely.
Until next time, everyone.
See you then.